I have to do this live. I might make it private later. I haven't really decided yet, but I need a place where I can document all of the things that are clearly unlawful and violations of civil rights and ethics and morals and values and laws and all of that, standards, community standards, etc. So over the last several weeks, after a period of approximately, and this is just a rough estimate on the time period, maybe 5 to 8 months, I would say, of complete, for the most part, normalcy, peace. There have been a few deviations for like maybe a few days at a time, but for the most part, it's been pretty peaceful. After that period, the last 3 weeks have been getting really bad again. So the stalking seems to have begun again. They have been posting up stickers with my face and QR codes around Xavier's father's house and around my job. Someone even came into my work and used literally the exact bathroom stall out of like 7 stalls. I used one stall. They went in that one stall and put like a sticker in my job, in my place of business. And I haven't even posted where I work. But since the stalkers found out, they've put it up on various channels, on YouTube and off. I have reported this on and off to law enforcement for 10 years. I have received zero assistance. There has not been a detective assigned. There has not been any direct communication saying, this is what's going on, this is what we think is, it is, and here's the resolution. So this is clearly a stalking issue. So that kind of was a non-issue for a while and became an issue again. My general manager spoke to someone. They were calling my job over and over. A woman claiming to be my aunt. She was not my aunt. She was a stranger to me, and she kept on telling my GM that I was not a good employee and that he should fire me. And he kept on insisting that I was an excellent employee and that, they wanted nothing to do with firing me and asking this woman to stop calling. I will say that being in the service industry, the nightlife industry, there's a lot of support for women who have been stalked or are being stalked. We have security. I do feel safe there at work. But just in general, it definitely affects your ability to feel safe and secure in wherever you are, just in your skin, So it's been very, just up and down over the last 2-3 weeks. On top of that, there have been reoccurring themes. So ways that I was intentionally tortured, and it's been documented in the past in 2020, 2021, and 2022. They've been repeating those themes, following me around with vehicles that have names on them of people that they've asked me questions about before, and by they, I mostly mean the authority. So people are asking me to provide information that I do not have, but they're not even asking me in a direct way, like, hey Heather, do you know XYZ? They're doing it by literally stalking me and following me with maybe a vehicle that says the person's license plate or that has the name painted on the side. And I've taken photos and videos of this going all the way back to, as I said, 2019. When I had my apartment at Montclair, they would do it from the parking lot. I would sit and look out the window, and they would bring vehicles with different names and different triggers, to intentionally trigger some sort of either reaction or explanation or narrative, etc., and so forth. So we're 10 years into this. My first documented occurrence of being mistreated by the system and by, this series of events occurred when I was still working as an eye doctor, optical office manager, and sales manager. I did all of their medical billing and coding and reception work and some clinical work, and then some sales and order fulfillment and shopping for designer frames and lenses, patient education, etc., and so forth. That job came on the heels of a 5-year period of employment with Northwestern Hospital, which is one of the most, widely accepted and acclaimed hospitals. It's incredibly prestigious. They scout and recruit and accept students from all over the world who are very, very, very intelligent. And it's just a really good place to work as well as be a patient. Now, working in that setting for 5 years, shoulder to shoulder with physicians of all kinds, you can clearly see that if there were an issue with my behavior, any one of them would have been able to see it and call it out. But it was actually quite the contrary. I was basically like the binding of the notebook for my doctors and offered them, service in the capacity of administrative as well as clinical that none of the other MAs were able to provide, which is why I believe that I excelled there and was able to take on, so much of the workload. And I learned a lot while I was there. But now going back to the ophthalmology job, about 3 months after I transitioned out of that position is when I met David Shepard. David Shepard is a detective was a detective for the city of Chicago in 2015. And I was driving in the car with my suegra, my mother-in-law at the time, and he pulled up behind me in an SUV with several other escorts, all tinted out. And he told me, "You're going to come with me." And they let my suegra go, and they put me in a car. I had no criminal record and no experience with the police. He brought me to an unmarked black hole site near 26th in California that looks like an abandoned factory. He intimidated me for 8 hours. He brought out a box of evidence against some people who were customers of the nightclub that I was working bottle service at. And they told me that I was going to continue to hang out with those people on a daily basis and report back to him via text and phone. And that if I didn't do that, that I was going to pay, that my children were going to be taken from me, that he was going to put them into the DCFS system, and that, if I wanted to live a good life and protect my children, that I was going to continue to go around this group and give him updates on a daily basis. A week later, he pulled me again out of my home and told me that I was going to steal a laptop computer from a woman who was his target. I said no and refused. He said that if I didn't do it, he was going to take my kids away. I got a lawyer named Nick Albuquerque. I told Nick everything that was going on, and the case was heard in front of Internal Affairs, and David Shepard lost his job as a detective in the city of Chicago. He has since been rehired elsewhere, but IA, Internal Affairs, listened to the case and went into my phone. Their technology department put a live feed into my phone so that anytime I was receiving any incoming text messages or calls, they had it at the same time I did. And they punished him for what he did. I have been victimized by so much scrutiny since that time, it's not even funny. After that took place, several other members of law enforcement decided that they would exploit my relationship with Dylan Smith, inmate number Y12173, and that they would, with him, either in combination, coordination, or without each other's knowledge, that they would be continuing to use me for a number of different things. Their goals were never ever once communicated to me, but I know that that's what was going on. To fast forward, all of this corrupt shit, like, who am I as a civilian to be held to what standard? And how do we have detectives and authorities who are able to put a woman, a single mother, I was a single mother at the time of 3 children, now I have 4, through that type of pressure and hell, for lack of a better word. I am still dealing with stalking, with immoral and unethical treatment, with all sorts of things that came as a direct result of that entire issue. Everything, all of the deals that person was working with Dylan, Wayne Jakowski is the state's attorney in charge of public corruption. He was part of signing deals with Dylan. I had nothing to do with that, but he began telling people that it was all me and I became their target. Since 2020, I was sexually assaulted, jumped and stabbed by 3 women with screwdrivers, and bludgeoned over the head with a tire iron. This is unacceptable. I have not received victim services for anything. I have not received any assistance with any of the social service issues that were taking place, and I was gate kept out of housing on and off for 5 years. I spent my entire pregnancy with Weston in a tent, calling 911 and 311 1 or 2 times a week, begging them for assistance or some sort of guidance as to how I could resolve the issue on my own. I sent 5 I have tremendous amounts of experience in every field, from medical to hospitality to entertainment to staffing to HR to catering. There's really nothing I can do. I've worked to not allow me to earn my own income, to oppress me in a tent, to look the other way while someone sexually assaulted me, and then even further, to bring my family into the system through DCFS and deny me my right to raise my child. This should not be occurring in the United States of America or in any country. So the things that are going on definitely demand the attention, time, and energy of someone probably from the FBI or whatever agency is responsible for, Wayne Jakowski, public corruption state's attorney. Like, we need to talk. We need to talk. And I've emailed and I've called and I've requested a meeting and I filed police reports. I was working with Detective James Cleese from Pulaski and Foster, emailing him every week updates about my situation and what was taking place, until his voicemail box literally and his email box literally started bouncing the emails back. And that just started happening in 2024. And they did not assign another person to check in with me. So in 2020, when Nick Albuquerque, my attorney who helped me with the David Shepard case, met with me, he told me, because I went to him over what they were doing to me, having a person on parole beat the fuck out of me and throw me out into the street from my own apartment, and police did nothing, court did nothing. I filed orders of protection, I begged for assistance, they did nothing. Everything I did, they sent nefarious people who were not worried about me beating them to go tell law enforcement and the judge that I was beating them, so that everything I said was truly happening, they recreated, and it was not happening. And they've been getting away with this for about 10 years. No one has fucking fixed it. So what I know now is that there is a way to resolve it. And I know that because since Weston's birth, I've had 0 slander calls, 0 again, stalking my social medias again, and have come into my job. I'm here again for probably close to the 100th time on a live broadcast, maybe closer to 1,000 times, saying, yes, I do want to press criminal charges. Yes, I do want to file civil lawsuits. Yes, I do want to move forward with all of these cases. What I really want is peace. What you've proven to me, what you've shown me and given me no choice but to believe about you, is that you don't give a fuck about what I want. So I know that there is AI that I can hire, and that's my goal right now, is to just earn as much money as humanly possible. Sponsors, if you're out there and you would like to donate towards another lawyer, I have a standby attorney but represent myself in the case over my infant child being literally kidnapped by the Department of Child and Family, and he's been with them for over a year, and I've satisfied all of my requirements, yet they're still saying, just continuing the court dates. All of these people deserve to be imprisoned, and here is the only place that I have been able to articulate and document and not be, completely ignored or destroyed. I have to do what I call a soft focus when I'm doing these videos, because what has been allowed by YouTube, by Instagram, by TikTok is assault. It's assault. There needs to be, and supposedly is, regulation that can prevent this type of bullying and assault from occurring. I know it exists. They've prevented it for the last several months. Now all of a sudden, I've My income has been affected, my health has been affected, my living situation has been affected, and there's a price for all of that. And I don't want to keep talking about it, you know? So I'm not being permitted a lawyer, and intentionally denied the opportunity to make money on a number of occasions and for a number of years. And as I said, as things continue to improve, everything starts coming back. It's like they are so scared of me being successful. And as I continue to take steps forward in my life, the resistance and the abuse that they present me with is also increasing. So I don't know how else to describe it than that. There are people who are aware. As I said, the lawyer Nick Albuquerque, my lawyer for many, many years, has already, advised me to flee the state of Illinois. The fact that he has said that I'm not going to flee the state. My children live here. My family lives here. I'll be right here, reporting live, not from the gutter, and with witnesses. So that's all that I can do, and my career, in marketing and in entrepreneurial endeavors, it will continue at whatever rate it's allowed to continue. And what I mean by that is, and if you understand the concept of pivoting in business, people, for whatever reason, have an issue with other people making money. And I didn't know this because I never made it a point to hang around with this type of hater-ass person. The people I keep around me historically are all like for my success and me for theirs. So I don't know what this new, as I said, straight up hater shit mentality is against people who are improving their lives, myself included. But it has definitely become an issue on more than one occasion over the last several years, and continues to be as I head into year 2 of this situation with my son, being trapped in the system at 1 year old. This is insane, and it should not be permitted. And I really just don't know what else I can do about it. There was some numerous allegations made against me that were shut down by my physician. I have transcripts of everything he said. They exist in the court system as well as in my lawyer's office. So the allegations that were originally, troublesome are a non-issue anymore, yet we're still here. We're still here a year later with the same access to our son that we've always had. So my other 3 children are still living with their dad. They've been for the last 4 or 5 years. Before that, they lived with me their entire life. And my oldest daughter is 18, about to be 19. So I've been a mom for about 20 years now, and a grandma for about a month. I'm too old for this shit, you guys. You gotta fucking lay off, for real. I'm not here for it. I'm not consenting to it. I will not be your self-sacrifice, nor should you expect me to, or think that it's in any way acceptable to take a woman who has children and sacrifice her for the well-being of some fucking crackhead ass pieces of shit. Period. I'm over it. So that's the update for today. I sent several emails to and expressed in writing my desire to sue. I would like to move forward with lawsuits. They just ignore me. So I don't know if I'm boxed in again and my emails are not getting in or out. I don't know if I'm hacked and they're deleting the emails before I get to see them. I don't know what's going on. All I do know is that I am unwilling to cooperate with being your victim another time. I am unwilling to cooperate with you exploiting my personality, using my likeness for personal gain to harm others. I am unwilling to continue to invest time and energy and effort into anything that is not 1,000% putting money in my pocket, a house in my name for me and my children, and stability. That's it. That is it. There is nothing else. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. That's the update. They canceled our last court date that was scheduled in January and continued it all the way to April. So I'm waiting on that, but I would really, really appreciate all of the love, good vibes, prayers, whatever you believe in that I can get. And if you are someone who would like to assist me, if you are someone who believes in one love and you wouldn't want to see your mother be raped and thrown in a tent and beat up and stabbed 11 times and bludgeoned over the head, if you're someone who, you know, believes in all of the things that our forefathers fought for, civil liberties, freedom, fairness, equality, access to resources, if you think any of that's important, please look into my case. Please help to support me get in front of the right judge so that I can receive and the world can receive the justice that we are owed. Because I am not so filled with ego that I believe that I'm the only one who's ever experienced such adversity and such oppression and such corruption. So let's resolve it. I'm looking for solutions. I want it to stop. In the last 24 hours, I've probably received close to 30 prank calls, stalking calls. Again, that hasn't been an issue for about 6 to 7 months. So I can't go to law enforcement. I've gone to them about 100 times. They laugh in my face. They tell me that there's nothing they can do. I literally just sit in the receiving end, completely powerless, just being stalked. That's not acceptable. Not for this country, not for any country.